Gekishin Squadra just leaked another character alongside their official reveals for Android 17, and Hit will be breaking those things down, as well as the potential to see Dragon Ball Super returning in 2026 following a surprise Jump Festa announcement. Let's just say it's more than 0%, and also Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026 has been announced. And it's a bit surprising what we could be seeing here. This could be major stuff. So let's go ahead and break it all down. So as you can see here, I am literally playing the trailer for Dragon Ball Game Battle Hour 2026. And they have a little bit of a awesome rendition of Super Saiyan 4 Goku. But what has many people scratching their heads is if you go to the official site, they confirm that Fighters has been featured in the marketing and stuff because it's part of the tournament. Same thing with the Dragon Ball Super card games. Now, here's the interesting thing. Additional titles and exhibitions. I've always had trouble saying that. I think it's exhibitions. More titles will be on hand at Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026 for your enjoyment. So they have Xenoverse 2, Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Legends, and Gekishin Squadra. Many people have noted that there is no word on Breakers being here. That's because Breakers is reportedly done. They know it's a dying brand, and there's no investment to be made. It's dead. Breakers is done. But the interesting thing is, if you look here, these are all games that are being actively supported. So we're going to get some new announcements at Battle Hour, most likely for these games. Keep in mind, they announced Sparking Zero at Battle Hour 2023, so this could be major. We could see Xenoverse 3 being announced at Battle Hour 2026. There is a non-0% chance. Many people predict that we could be getting a Xenoverse 3 announcement very soon because Xenoverse 2 feels like it's basically declining a bit. I mean, they're having to make new original characters that are basically recolors and small alterations to the model. I'm pretty sure that's probably not selling the best in terms of like DLC sales. I'm assuming it's probably selling decently well, but I don't think it would be selling as well as if they just released a new video game and then had a bunch of new characters and DLC. Like, there's a lot to be made. Now, Xenoverse 2 is a surprising hit, obviously. I'm glad it's gone on this long, but I do think at a certain point Xenoverse 3 will need to come. Now, will it be announced at Battle Hour 2026? Who knows? But it's not impossible. A lot of people thought Dragon Ball Sparking Zero or Budokai Tenkaichi 4 was a pipe dream that was never happening, and it is happening. So, and then Gekishin Squadra, that's an easy dub. Obviously, we're going to get new characters added every now and again. I'm not sure how often they'll be adding new characters to Gekishin Squadra, but maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 or 3 months. So having this have a presence there also signifies to me they'll probably have some surprise announcements. So keep your eyes peeled for Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026. It's going to be big. Alright, so let's next break down the Gekishin Squadra character reveals and the leak. As you guys know, when we talk about Gekishin Squadra, what I like to do is just let the initial trailer play and then break down the moveset. So let's just go ahead and watch it together.
Peggy 12.
Volume looks good here.
Now to fight like I mean it.
So long!
I'll blow you away!
Poor thing. You really thought you had me, huh? Not over yet.
I'll block it!
Fine. I'll show you what I can really do. I guess I just got lucky.
Yes, you did get lucky, and you got very lucky because your trailer is going to get a lot of plays, Android 17. Do you know why? It's because if you go back into the trailer, this is what a lot of people are talking about. I can't remember, where is it at exactly? It's somewhere through here. You can clearly see what appears to be, there he is, Gamma 1. Now, is Gamma 2 also going to be playable? One would assume yes. Gamma 2 would have to be playable. Maybe they'll add Gamma 2. But we do know that there are still one more. There's probably, well, I do think based off the reveals, there's, I think, one character left to reveal after Gamma 1 has been leaked. So don't be too upset, but yeah, they did leak that Gamma 1 is coming to the game, so very exciting and very interesting. So I think what they did was they accidentally revealed the Android 17 trailer sooner than expected, because they had a different trailer release at the same exact time, which was hit on their Twitter. So we're going to have to go to Twitter for that one. So yeah, Android 17, he's the technical character, a loyal hero who fights while protecting allies with barriers. Take on anything with limitless energy as you lead your allies to victory. So this is what I like about these types of games, and what I'm interested in mainly is the potential for like a big variety, a large variety. So infinite energy reactor. Use energy to reactivate your skills. Skills excluding super attacks can be activated while on cooldown. Energy used will be recovered over time. The more skills that are on cooldown, the faster your energy will replenish. Very cool. I don't think this is a character that sounds like he's up my alley, but he's very interesting. Rush attack. Fire an energy blast. If it hits an enemy while they're transforming, it will interrupt their transformation. Hey, that's pretty cool. Alright. Okay, 17. Skill 1, Barrier Ball. Kick a barrier in a targeted direction. Enemies hit by the attack will have their damage, defense, and movement speed buffs converted to debuffs. If reactivated with Infinite Energy Reactor, the enemy will also receive additional damage based on the number of debuffs applied. At skill level 3, the number of barriers will increase. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, he's the barrier guy, I guess. They've definitely incorporated barriers into his entire moveset. They weren't kidding with that brief description. Barrier, okay. Barrier Knuckle. Rush forward in a targeted direction and strike with barrier-clad fists. Enemies hit by the attack will be afflicted with movement speed down. Effect diminishes over time. If reactivated with Infinite Energy Reactor, an additional stagger effect will be applied. So I'm hearing a lot about barriers, which is surprising. I feel like this would be a good tank concept if you're leaning into the barrier thing, but I guess we'll see how it works out. Skill 3, Android Barrier. Form a barrier to protect yourself and ally heroes. You and any heroes nearby will gain extra HP. If reactivated with Infinite Energy Reactor, movement speed up will also be applied. So I guess that's how they're differentiating it. He's a technical because he can also heal with his barriers. Interesting mechanic. Super attack is counter barrier. Form a barrier to protect yourself and ally heroes while blowing up the surrounding area. You and any ally heroes nearby will gain extra HP. Applies no healing EX to enemies hit by the attack. The less total HP you have, the more damage dealt and the more extra HP received. So yeah, I think again, if you're leaning into the barrier thing with Android 17 from the Tournament of Power, I would have definitely leaned more into making him a tank, but I mean, it is what it is. I do think that his moveset is unique. Probably not my thing, but unique, and I do think that there is a genuine craze for this type of playstyle, and of course we have Gamma 1 leaked here, so I will definitely be breaking Gamma 1 down whenever they officially release that trailer. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the official trailer for Hit, which was uploaded onto Twitter. Again, because it's on Twitter, the quality is a little bad, not as good as the YouTube quality. So again, like I said before, what we'll be doing is we'll be watching the initial cinematic gameplay reveal, and then we'll be breaking down the moveset. Let's watch it together. Gekishin Squadra.
Time to start working. Don't move.
This is it!
In all my years, I've never allowed a mark to escape. Target locked. Too slow. I can finally finish the job. Contract executed.
Okay, so first comment on Hit. He definitely looks very interesting and probably annoying to play, maybe even more annoying to fight against. So he is a technical character. Concept: a hitman who can blindside enemies with deadly attacks, disorient your targets with fear of death, then approach sight unseen to quickly finish the job. So it looks like his passive is Fear of Death. Apply debuff that shrinks the target's field of view. Fear of Death will be applied when attacking an enemy hero who has not spotted you. Stacking Fear of Death will apply movement speed down to the enemy, and they will receive additional damage, while the cooldown for Dimensional Infiltration will also be shortened. So this is an interesting way to incorporate, because I always wondered, like, they always got to get creative with this stuff, so I think it's really cool how they're creatively incorporating hits time skip abilities here. Rush Attack. Range increases during stealth or while in a bush and undiscovered by an enemy. Becomes a powered up attack if used against an enemy hero while in this state, warping you to an enemy hero's position and dealing more damage. Sounds like a basic attack, but interesting enough. They're like, I like how they're like make the rush attacks different for each hero, especially like with hit, for example. That's pretty cool. Skill 1, Death Blow. Fire an energy attack that penetrates enemies and walls. If this is activated during stealth or while in a bush, I think that says bush, the Twitter thing is blocking it off, the effects of stealth or the bush will remain. Okay, yeah, it is bush. Okay. So yeah, definitely more of a stealthy character as you would guess. Skill 2, Vital Point Strike. A thrust attack generates a shockwave with the attack from skill level 2, staggers enemy heroes who haven't discovered you when it hits. Skill 3, Dimensional Infiltration. We heard about this. Warp to a set position and enter an alternate space-time, granting buffs. Apply stealth and movement speed up to self while in the alternate space-time. These effects will be cancelled if hit by an enemy attack or upon using a rush attack or skill. Death Blow excluded. Again, pretty cool how they're making the his unique abilities work here. So they're saying like alternate space-time, and you know, it's just like really quick teleportation, but it's pretty cool. Okay, so Super Attack, Assassin's Domain. Unleash murderous energy, granting you buffs. Applies Fear of Death, movement speed down, and obscured vision to nearby enemies, and applies same effects as Dimensional Infiltration to self. If the effects of Dimensional Infiltration are cancelled, they will be reapplied, so long as no actions are performed other than movement. I love how they're designing all these characters, but I'm such a newbie to the genre. I am definitely going to be mainly playing as like Goku and Vegeta and some of the more simple characters for sure. Alright, so there's the Gekishin Squadra breakdown. What do you guys think, and what do you think Gamma 1 will be? I am guessing he'll be a damage character, and who do you want to be the final reveal? I was thinking it was probably going to be Super Broly or something like that, but I was not expecting Android 17, and I was not expecting Hit, and I was not expecting Gamma 1, so your guess is as good as mine. Alright, and with all that said, let's finally break down what everybody is talking about. The official graphic for Jump Festa 2026 has released, and I honestly don't read a lot of manga, so I don't recognize half these characters. I know Yugi, I know Luffy, I know Boruto, I know Ichigo, I know Midoriya, and is that Goku? I think it is. Goku from Dragon Ball Super is on the official graphic. Now, this does not mean we're going to be getting a Dragon Ball Super announcement, because I'm pretty sure Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not actively in the franchise anymore, but I think they still do get new Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, so maybe that's a hint. However, if we go and read what Sekai_DB has said, he's went ahead and done the research, and the research was done in, I think that's Spanish, and Grok, the AI on Twitter, went ahead and translated it into English for us. So thank you, AI, Grok. He says, promotional visual for Jump Festa 2026. This time Dragon Ball will not have a panel, but it will be present with exhibitions and attractions December 20th and the 21st, 2025. Now, if you guys remember, there's a big story that was huge. Everybody was talking about it, myself included. You can find it on my channel, where Victory Uchida, the editor for Dragon Ball Super, said that there would be no return in 2025. He seemed pretty confident saying that, and that makes sense. He would know. However, this is Jump Festa 2026. There could be an announcement for Dragon Ball Super returning at this event, even though there's no panel. Why, you may ask? Well, if you guys remember, we had the announcement of Dragon Ball Super Chapter 104, the one-shot at Jump Festa 2026, even though Dragon Ball did not have its own panel. There was a Dragon Ball Daima panel for sure, But that was really just a panel for the voice actors and things to talk, and they did some light promotion on the anime, and there was no word on Dragon Ball Super. And if you guys remember, people in the community were very upset at that time, thinking no more Dragon Ball Super manga announcements, and then boom, in some other panel, they dropped the information that Dragon Ball Super would be getting a one-shot. Now, that does not mean we are going to get Dragon Ball Super announcements here. That is just hopium, copium, whatever you want to call it. At this point, it's all we've got. There is no word on whenever Dragon Ball Super is going to be returning, but if there is word, it would be at this event. And I do think it's more than a 0% chance because, like I said, we got word of a one-shot Chapter 104, which was announced at this event, well, the 2025 version of this event, even though there was not a dedicated Dragon Ball panel. So we could see a similar announcement. Maybe they could do another one-shot. Maybe that's the legality of it, strangely enough. Who knows? But that's one thing I just wanted to mention here. It's kind of the biggest thing, I think, that has come out of all of this news is that Goku's present. There's not a panel, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. There is hope. Now, if we don't get an announcement, of course, that's going to be disappointing, and I will be talking about it for sure. Maybe even ranting about it like I'm kind of doing now, because it's insane to not be doing any Dragon Ball Super manga. But, of course, we all know how the legality and the copyright issue is behind the scenes. But let's just hope for the best. At this point, it seems like a lost cause. A lot of people feel like that, but it's not a lost cause. It's all a matter of when it will return, because I do think Dragon Ball Super will return. There was a time when everybody thought Dragon Ball was never going to return. Everybody thought it was over with Dragon Ball GT, and we went over a decade without any new Dragon Ball content in terms of the main story. You know, we got some fun stuff like Son Goku and his friends return and things like that, but we did not get anything like Dragon Ball Super. And then all of a sudden we got Battle of the Gods, Resurrection F, then Dragon Ball Super. So I know the circumstances for then and now are a bit different, but don't get too pessimistic. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Alright, and to end the video, I thought this would be fun to talk about. Shonen Jump Shop is coming to LA for a limited time pop-up from September 6th to October 5th, 2025. It is in Del Amo Fashion Center Suite 154. This is again in LA. I am not an LA native, so I don't know how this works, but pop-up shops, if you've heard of them before, you know, it's a really short time window for you to visit it, so I definitely wanted to mention it here, and if you guys are unaware, boom, there it is, a Shonen Jump pop-up shop, so that's pretty fun. So definitely the biggest thing that I want to leave you guys with in this video is Dragon Ball Super could be returning, could not be. Don't get your hopes up too much, but there's more than a 0% chance. Just proceed with cautious optimism, but also expect nothing. And that's basically the way to do it when it comes to Dragon Ball Super nowadays, which is sad, but it is what it is. Anyways, guys, if you were wondering why the editing in this video wasn't really editing and it was just me recording off the monitor, that's simply because they wanted to be jerks and upload the Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra trailers at like nighttime at my bedtime, basically. Some of us have to work in the morning, but you know, Dragon Ball doesn't care. It's a Japanese first franchise, which of course makes sense. You know, it's for the Japanese audience primarily first, but it's also a worldwide brand, and they know that. That's why they're doing the pop-up shop in LA, and it's all very exciting stuff. So I just wanted to inform you guys, and sometimes I do videos like these. So if this is your first video and you're thinking, why is this guy just uploading off of his monitor? Is he being lazy? I'm being lazy, sure, but I'm also just wanting to get the news out there quickly. And you know, with these news videos, if you wait too long, it's basically just a death sentence for the content, you know. So I could either not get it out there or get it out there like this. So and I also like to do these types of videos. That way I can rant a little bit, be a bit more real with you guys, and ask for your thoughts, and just, you know, share my opinions more often. So hope you guys do enjoy these types of videos whenever I get to make them. I have fun with them, and I hope you guys do too. Anyways, guys, that will be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep up to date with all things Dragon Ball news and commentary. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace off.